All right. So let's come on over to our mats to begin. And again, we're going to start in a seated position. So I've rolled out my blanket already. You can roll out a blanket or a towel, or roll up the back of your yoga mat. Have anything handy around you that you would like to use in your practice today. If the floor tends to feel far away from you when you're in lunges or standing poses, just have some stuff nearby you to support you. So blocks, stacks of books or stacks of pillows. And the same thing goes with a strap. And you can use your towel for a strap if you prefer, or a sock, whatever's handy. So let's get ourselves started. Sitting up really nice and tall at the edge of whatever it is you're seated on. So not sitting back on that cushion or that boost, just a little bit further forward. So we're just on the edge, allowing our pelvis to slowly tilt forward. And we're just inviting the idea of allowing the knees to be lower than the hip points, or working towards that direction. We tend to be able to sit a little bit more comfortably for longer periods of time when the hips are above the knees. So you can take that into account if you're practicing a seated meditation, or you want to come into a comfortable seated position for some time. Just allow your body that space. So we're not constrained in the hip flexors. We want that space and that breath in the hip flexors. And we'll just take a moment to lengthen, lifting up and out of the waist and allowing the shoulders to settle. And softening through the jaw. And if you're comfortable here, you can allow the eyes to softly close. If not, just think of blurring the edges of your vision, just softening the gaze. Allow it to be down and steady. Beginning to really tune our attention into the experience of the body breathing. And we'll spend some time with our focus on the breath. If this is not an available focus for you, you can always just let that go and bring your focus to a part of your body, or a word or a thought. But allow your focus to be on that one thing. So as we begin to really focus our attention, just noticing what's happening here with the breath. Is it shallow? Is it fast? Is it slow? Just giving yourself some time to just notice what's already there. Notice if you're holding or gripping the belly. See if you can just allow a little bit more softening, nice and slowly. Letting the breath or the belly accept the breath. This can often be a really challenging thing, as we're often really told to hold and squeeze our core, which is fine at times. But what about the opposite? What about just allowing the belly to expand and accept breath? And then without my direction, just see if you can begin to lengthen your exhales a little bit more than your inhales. So it may just be a felt sense for you, just taking a little bit more time with your exhales, or you may like to count your breath. If you breathe in for 1, breathing out for 2, or if you breathe in for the count of 2, breathing out for the count of 4. Experimenting just doubling the length of your exhales to that of your inhales. Now it may be a counting for you, or it may be a felt sense for you. Just giving yourself some time to notice. Are you able to feel the breath? That felt sense of the breath moving through the body. What is the experience of exhaling for you? Allowing this focused attention, whether it's on the breath or something else, to calm the body, calm the mind, allowing us to be right here, right now. When you're ready, if the eyes are closed, just allow them to open. A nice soft focus for the eyes. Beginning to move really nice and slowly, taking your hands to your thighs or your knees. Reach your heart forward, opening up the chest, gentle arch in your back. Beginning to move really gently, really slowly. And then begin at the base of your spine, rounding your spine, tucking your chin to your chest. Again, take your time, moving slowly. Still letting the belly accept breath. And again, inhale, lift your heart, arch your back. Open up the heart. And exhale, rounding the back, tucking the chin to the chest. Now this time, as we come forward, we're going to explore making more of a wavy feeling or a wavy visual with the spine. So you may want to watch the first time. I'll just gently turn to the side. I'm going to begin by really leading with the head. So I'm going to send my head forward, waving my spine forward, coming back up through center, and then again, tucking the chin, leading with the head, waving the spine forward. Now that movement may be a little bit smaller for you. You may want to stay a little bit smaller. If that spine is feeling really sticky this morning, that's okay. Or perhaps you really explore deepening the breath with a bigger movement. Big is not better than small. Small is not better than big. Just moving into how the body feels best this morning. Good. Let's take one more. Lovely. And then coming back up to a nice neutral spine. Lovely. We're going to take a little bit of work for our shoulders here. So taking your fingertips to your shoulders. Now my left fingertips don't reach my shoulder because of the cast, and you may have some mobility issues there as well. That's okay. Just working towards the direction of bending the elbows there. And then we'll think of lifting the shoulders up, back, down, and forward, up, back, down, and forward, just drawing a few circles with the shoulders, just noticing how that feels to begin with. And then switch directions. Don't worry if there's cricks or cracks. Don't worry if it's slower. It's all welcome. And then letting that go, release your hands. So seeing here if we can allow our shoulders to settle in a more neutral position. And without lifting the shoulders up, see if you can send the shoulders forward and just the shoulders. So letting the rest of the body stay where it is. And you can see you could barely see that movement from me. It's a micro movement. So I'm just thinking about pressing the shoulders forward as if there's a string attaching each shoulder and it starts to be pulled towards the center of your body. So we're shortening that space in our chest just a wee bit. And just notice what happens to your upper back and your shoulder blades on the back body. And then letting that go, see if we can move in the other direction. So just start to press the shoulders back. Notice if we want to creep the shoulders up, let them settle, and just the back movement. So just that backwards movement. And you may notice the shoulder blades start to move towards each other here. Keep the chest really broad. And this movement is just going to open up our chest and our heart a little bit more in a subtle fashion. And then let that go and let your shoulders rest naturally. Good. Now from here, take your left hand across to your right knee. Right fingertips come to your right shoulder. Lifting up and out of your waist and a really gentle small twist. And then start to roll that right shoulder up, back, down, and forward. Let your elbow really help guide you there. Now, as you take those rolls of the shoulders, you may want to open up into that twist a little bit more. Sort of letting the shoulder rolling dictate that twist for your spine. Good. Now, as you start to switch directions for your shoulders, so allow the shoulder to come forward, down, and back and up. Start to bring your torso back to center so that shoulder rotation brought us back to a more neutral spine. And we'll release to switch sides. So take that right hand across your body, left fingertips to your left shoulder. And just inhaling here, allowing just the natural twist from just taking the hand across the body. And then allowing your shoulder to lift up, back, down, and forward. And as you roll through the shoulder there, perhaps we notice some space opening up so that spine can find some rotation. Letting that be really nice and gentle. Good. Feeling that full movement for your shoulder. And then as you switch directions, starting to roll the shoulder forward, that will generate your body to come forward. Good. And then we'll slowly let that go. Lovely. Sitting up really nice and tall again. Find that wave for your body. So sending the head forward. Lifting up, and just notice how your shoulders, your upper back, and your chest feel here. Good. Let's just take that one more time. Good. Coming back up to a nice neutral spine. Lovely, everybody. Let's come on up to our hands and our knees. So remove whatever it was you were seated on. And we'll come on up to our hands and our knees, finding a tabletop position. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Take a moment to feel really nice and strong and stable here. And inhale, lift your heart, arch your back. As you exhale, round your back, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, lift your heart, arch your back. Exhale, round your back, tuck your chin to your chest. One more time, inhale, lift. And exhale, round. Coming back to a nice neutral spine, we're going to work again on our shoulders. So you can stay in tabletop, hands and knees, or or you can come down to your forearms. I'm going to come down to my forearms because of my wrist. Now from here, I'm going to start to think about dropping the chest and finding the shoulder blades moving towards each other. So similar to when we were pressing our shoulders back in that seated position, finding the shoulder blades squeezing and moving towards each other, opening up through that chest. And then find the opposite direction. So start to pull the shoulder blades away from each other. Shoulders are moving forward, not up towards the ears, but forward, almost down towards your mat there. And then again, dropping the chest, pressing the shoulder blades away from each other, and gently move back and forth there, just finding that mobility. It's almost as if just some little push-ups, or you can think of breath through the shoulders. And you may even start to really heat up. So it's a lot of strength and muscle work here. So you may start to notice the body starts to generate some heat. You can move slower if you need a break. Good. Lovely. And then coming back to your nice neutral spine. Send yourself back in space, so hips towards your heels into a variation of a child's pose, knees as wide or as narrow as you'd like. Letting your head rest on your mat, or double up your hands or fists, or use any props around you that you would like to use. You can place a pillow behind your knees, under your knees, or under your forehead. And you can always, if you prefer to come to a seated position to rest in, you can take that as well. Breathing deeply. Good. Now from here, I'm going to take my left hand and weave it under my right arm. Soften that right shoulder down. Keep that right arm reaching forward. And you can stay with this or gently lift that right arm up and back. Again, getting into the shoulder and then reaching that arm forward. And again, reaching the arm up and back. And reaching the arm forward. Come back through the center and take the other side. So weaving that right arm under your left arm. If you prefer to be in tabletop position, if you're feeling it in the backs of the legs, go right ahead. Left arm reaches forward as we drop towards that right shoulder. And you can stay with this or lift that left arm up and reach it back. And bringing that arm back forward. One more time, lifting up. And reaching back, and nice and slowly coming forward. Beautiful. From there, let's come on up back to a tabletop position, hands and knees, engage your belly. Find that strength through your shoulder blades and stay right there, or reach your arms forward as you drop your chest between the shoulders, lengthening your spine and engaging your belly into a puppy pose. Nice full deep breaths. Now stay with that or come on up into a downward facing dog, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up and back. And feel free to take a little bit of movement, maybe bend into one knee and the other, pedaling out through the hips or swaying through the hips or pedaling out through your knees. And again, you can choose to take tabletop instead or downward facing dog. Whatever is most supportive for what your body needs today. Just taking some nice deep breaths there. Good. And wherever you are, when you're ready, finding a plank pose. Pull yourself forward into a plank, and you can take your plank from your hands and your feet, or your hands and your knees, or your forearms and your feet, or your forearms and your knees, wherever you feel strong today. Finding lots of breath. I'm going to take mine from my forearms just because of my wrist, but you can always adjust. Doing something different than me, that's totally welcome. Good. Now let's lower down to the belly, either from your hands and your knees or your hands and your feet. And once you find yourself down to your belly, just let yourself rest for a moment, surrendering the weight of your body down. And then slowly lifting your heart forward. Come onto your forearms, elbows underneath the shoulders. as you reach your heart forward in a Sphinx pose. Softening your jaw, breathing deeply. Good, now stay with this or root your right palm down, roll your right shoulder back and maybe turn your gaze towards the back there. Lifting out of the waist. Come on back through the center, take the other side. So rooting that right forearm down, left shoulder lifts up and back. Just finding that little twist, that little rotation. And come on back through the center. And you can stay with your forearms down or take your palms down if you feel ready to come into a nice low or high cobra. Just experimenting with how that feels. I'm going to stick with my Sphinx pose here, lifting my heart forward. Lengthen the back of the neck. Good, and then slowly lowering back down, push up through to your hands and your knees and find your downward facing dog. Either tabletop or puppy or downward facing dog. And just allow yourself some time to breathe through the body there. Good, and then one more time, let's pull ourselves forward into our plank pose. Again, your variation of a plank. All planks are welcome. All planks are challenging, so breathing there. Finding strength through your shoulder blades. Lower down to the belly, either from your hands and your knees or your hands and your feet. And again, lift into your back bend. Either with your forearms down or your palms down, Sphinx, low cobra, high cobra, or if you'd like, upward facing dog, pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat and lifting the knees. Reaching the heart forward to open up the chest. And then nice and slowly, let's lower back down, push up through to your hands and your knees, and either lift up into downward facing dog or take table or puppy pose. Taking a nice breath. Now this time, lifting your knees if they're down, slowly start to tiptoe or walk your feet forward to your hands. Bending those knees as much as you'd like and take a moment to hang heavy over your legs. Let your head go. I love a little shake of the head or a roll through the jaw, perhaps even pedal out through the knees or the feet there a little. Just find some movement, maybe even some sways through the hip. Good, and then nice and slowly finding softness in your knees. Begin to bring yourself up, allowing your head to come up last. And as we stand at the front of the mat, take a few little rolls of your shoulders and set yourself up in Tadasana mountain pose. So you can keep your feet hip width apart or wider, or take big toes touching the heels a sliver apart. And as you ground down there, let's take a nice big inhale. Lift out of the waist, reaching the arms up overhead. And then we'll connect our palms through center and gently bow forward over the legs, releasing your head. Soften your jaw and find a halfway lift. So take your palms to your shins as you reach your heart forward, lengthening your spine, or take your hands to your thighs or use a prop. So anything that's around you, maybe even a chair. And then as you exhale, reach your palms down, step your feet back and find your plank pose. Hands and feet, hands and knees, forearms and feet or forearms and knees. Feel that strength through your shoulder blades. And lower down to the belly, either from your hands and your knees or your hands and your feet. And reach your heart forward into your back bend with a nice inhale. So your inhale refreshing and renewing as you lift your chest forward and up. And slowly lower down, push up through your hands and your knees as we tuck our toes to lift up and back into down dog, or feel free to keep those knees down. Puppy or tabletop. Really expansive breath here. Good. If those knees are down, lift the knees and slowly start to tiptoe, walk, hop, or step your feet forward to your hands. Let your head go as you breathe. Softness to the backs of the knees. Slowly take your time. Start to roll yourself up. Coming to stand in your Tadasana mountain pose. Right away, take a nice inhale. Guide the arms up, lifting out of the waist. Connecting your palms through center. Gently bow forward over your legs. With your palms to your shins, reach your heart forward as you lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, fold forward and step your right leg back behind you. Lowering your right knee down to the mat. Now feel free to support yourself here by doubling up your mat for extra padding or using a pillow or towel underneath your knee. And if that floor feels far away, use your props, so your chair, your blocks, whatever you're using today. Reaching your heart forward as you feel that length in the back hip flexor. Soften through your jaw. Good. Now here with a nice long exhale, start to send the hips back and lengthen the front leg. Don't worry if the knee is bent. You can feel free to bend it. And if it's available, just gently lift your front toes so you're on the front heel. As you breathe your hips back, lengthen your spine forward, soften your jaw, steady gaze. Good. Now as you come back through to that low lunge, take a moment. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, start to turn towards the long side of your mat. And just check in, make sure your heels are in line. Big toes are slightly pigeon-toed in. We'll just take a moment and a wide-legged forward fold. If you want to sway a little from side to side, go right ahead. Feel free to have as much of a bend into your knees as you'd like. Good. And then nice and slowly walk your hands to that left foot. Turn your left toes to face the front of the mat. Pivot onto the ball of that back foot, and again, lower that back knee down to your mat. Support yourself as you see fit. Stay with your hands down or come up to the thigh. If you'd like from there, perhaps lift your arms up overhead, lengthening out of your waist. Settle the shoulders on the back body, and then bend your elbows. See if you can take your cactus arms and really find the shoulder blades on the back body. So press the shoulder blades towards each other. Opening up through the chest. Soft jaw. Good. And then inhale, lift your arms back overhead. From here, release your right fingertips down. Keep your left arm lifted up towards the ceiling and a gentle twist towards that left side. Feel free to place that hand up on a block if the floor feels far away. Now, some arm circles. So release that arm back, down, forward and up, back, down, forward and up. That movement may be a little bit smaller for you. Don't worry about it. You may get cricks and cracks. That's okay. One more time. Good. And then we'll release that hand to frame our front foot. We'll tuck our back toes, lift our back knee, and step our back foot forward to meet our front foot as we hang nice and heavy over the legs. Again, maybe a little shake out. And then we'll take the other side. So step your left leg back, lowering that left knee down to your mat, and feel free to double up your mat. If you'd like that extra padding, feel free to place your hands up on an elevated prop. As you reach your heart forward, feel that length in the back hip flexor. That should feel nice if we spend a lot of time seated or sitting. Now from here, let's start to send our hips back as we lengthen that front leg. Don't worry about straight. You can have a bend to your knees, and if it's available, flex your toes up towards the ceiling. So it's so handy here if that floor feels far away. You make your pose so much more accessible in your body if you just elevate the torso and place the hands up on something. That's a sign of strength. Recognizing what the body needs and offering it. So now as we come back into that low lunge, as we bend back into that front knee, we'll tuck our back toes, lift our back knee, turn to face the long edge of your mat and check in with your feet. Make sure your heels are in line. Big toes are slightly pigeon-toed in, and feel free to take as much of a bend into your knees and just invite a little bit of movement here. So perhaps a few little sways from side to side. Expanding your breath, noticing how that feels. Good. And then nice and slowly start to walk your hands towards the right foot. Turn your right toes to face the front of the mat. Pivot onto the ball of that back foot and lower your back knee down. Support yourself with whatever props you'd like. Stay there. Or if you're ready, lift your arms up overhead, reaching nice and tall with your torso. And from here, we'll start to bend our elbows. And again, see if you can find the shoulder blades on the back body. Really opening up the chest, shortening that space in your upper back. So if there's a pencil between your shoulder blades, you're almost holding it there, pressing those shoulder blades towards each other. So if we're really pressing the backs of our arms back. Good, and then take a nice inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, release your hands down to frame your front foot. Taking your left fingertips down and your right arm up towards the ceiling. I'm going to modify for myself by taking my elbow to the outside of my right knee. You can have your left hand down to the inside of your leg if you'd like. And then slowly some arm circles. So releasing that arm back, down, forward, and up. Back, down, forward, and up. And just rolling around again. Don't worry about the size of the circles. Don't worry about cricks or cracks. Just noticing. Good. One more. And then we'll release the hands to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Take a moment to hang nice and heavy over your legs. Let your head go. Maybe even give it a little shake out. Find your palms to your shins or your thighs or your prop. Halfway lift. And then root your palms down, step back to your plank, holding your plank, feeling really nice and strong here. Lower down to the belly, hands and knees, hands and feet, or if you practice chaturanga, go ahead. And then lift into your back bend, Sphinx, low cobra, high cobra, or upward facing dog. And then nice and slowly lower back down, push up through the hands and knees, find down dog, puppy, or tabletop. And just take a moment to breathe. Remind yourself to take as many of those moments as you like. You may want to rest in a resting pose, lie down, whatever feels comfortable. Reminding yourself you only have this one body, and it's constantly in a state of change. So giving yourself some time to notice what's happening now with a sense of curiosity. And slowly come on up. If those knees are down, lifting them up slowly. Tiptoe walk or hop your feet forward to your hands, hanging nice and heavy over your legs. This time, find your halfway lift. Palms come to the shins, the thighs are a prop. And as you exhale, fold. Take a nice inhale, sweeping the arms up, bringing yourself to stand. And exhale, come back through to Tadasana. Right away, inhale, sweep the arms up. Connecting through your palms, bow forward over your legs. Find your halfway lift with a nice refreshing inhale. As you exhale, release and step your right leg back behind you. Now stay up on the ball of your right foot. Feel free to lower that right knee down where we were before if you prefer, and feel free to place your hands up on a prop. As you reach your heart forward here, soften your jaw. Stay with the hands down, or if you'd like, lift the arms up overhead, soften the shoulders, and you may want to crawl your way up your leg. That's beautiful. Breathe here. Now let's bend our elbows, find those cactus arms as you spread through your fingers, opening up, pressing the shoulder blades towards each other. Good, and then inhale, lift your arms up overhead, straighten your front leg, pivot your back foot flat, and find yourself in a warrior two. With your front heel lined up with your back arch, pressing through the pinky toe side of that right foot. Left knee is tracking over your second toe, so allowing yourself a nice active external rotation for that left hip. Now from here, gentle reverse your warrior. So release that right hand down to your right leg. Very little weight in that right hand. You could also wrap it around your waist if that's a challenge for you. Lifting up and out of your waist. Using that top arm, release that top arm down, forward, and up. Down, forward, and up. One more. down, forward, and up. Bring yourself back through to your warrior two. Now from here, reach your left fingertips forward as we're reaching into side angle. And then lower that left forearm to your thigh, reaching your right arm up towards the ceiling. Stay really nice and long through that back leg. And from here, top arm reaches forward, down, back, and up. Forward, down, back, and up. Rolling through that shoulder. Good. And we'll take that one more time. And the next time you have your arm coming back, just lift your torso back up through to your warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down to meet your front foot. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Find your lunge here. And again, you can always lower that back knee down if you'd like. If you're ready, lift that left arm up towards the ceiling. Releasing that left arm down, forward, up and back. Down, forward, up and back. One more time. Down, forward, up and back. Release your hand to frame your front foot. Lower the back knee down. Support yourself however you'd like. Start to send your hips back, lengthening that front leg. Don't worry if it's straight or not. Just feel that length, that space. Bend back into the front knee. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee. Turn your toes to face the long edge of your mat. Take your wide-legged forward fold. Let your head go. This time, walk your fingertips forward, reaching your chest forward, lengthening your spine as you press your hips back. And then start to walk yourself back to that forward fold. Now we're here just for a moment. And then start to walk your hands towards that left foot. Turn your left toes to face the front of the mat. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot and ease your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Take a moment. Head is heavy. Step your left leg back behind you. Landing on the ball of that left foot. Right knee is tracking over your toes as you reach your heart forward. Hands can be on a prop if you'd like. Stay with the hands down or lift your torso up, coming into that crescent lunge, feeling strong and stable through the legs, long through the torso. Bend into the elbows, find your cactus arms opening up the chest, shoulder blades on the back body. Feel the backs of the hands reaching back, opening you up. Then from there, we'll lift our arms up, straighten the front leg, warrior two. Pivot the back foot flat, heel to arch alignment. Active external rotation in that front hip, stable through the legs. Lift that back kneecap. Reverse, lifting that right arm up and back. Very little weight in that back hand. And again, you can place the hand around your waist if you notice you're relying on your hand a little too much. Then from there, release that top arm down, forward, up, reaching it back, down, forward, and up. Two more little rolls there of your shoulder. Keep the legs really stable. Good, now bringing yourself back up through to warrior two. Tilt your torso forward. Release your right forearm to your thigh, lifting your left arm up towards the ceiling, side angle. Stable through the legs. Take that top arm, reach it forward, down, back, and up. Allowing yourself to roll around here a little bit. And feel free to make that a little bit smaller if you'd like. It can just be micro movements. Big breaths. Good. And the next time you have that arm reaching back, lift your torso back up through your warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down to meet your front foot. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot and stay up on the ball of that back foot. Left fingertips or palm down, right arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Take that twist. Release that top arm back, down, forward, and up. Back, down, forward, and up. One more, back, down, forward, and up. Then release your hands to frame your front foot. Lower that back knee down. Pad that back knee up. Support yourself however you like. And then start to exhale. Breathe your hips back, lengthening that front leg. Maybe the toes move up towards the ceiling. Take a moment there. Nice long breaths. Come back into that low lunge. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee. Turn your toes to face the long edge of your mat. Organize your feet so your heels are in line. Big toes are slightly pigeon-toed in. And then walk your fingertips forward, lengthening your spine. That same idea as our halfway lift in our standing forward fold. And then start to walk your hands back, let your head go, maybe even give it a little shake out. Again, we're not here for long. When you're ready, walk your hands towards that right foot. Turn your right toes to face the front of the mat. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot and step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Hang heavy. Let your head release. Easiness in the breath. Deeper bend to your knees. Begin at the base of your spine. Slowly roll yourself up. Come to stand. Steady your gaze. Lengthen out of your waist. Just check in, noticing how you feel in your body. Accept as much breath as you can. As you steady your breath, as you steady your gaze, slowly start to shift your weight towards the left foot. Play with the idea of lifting your right foot up. Let it touch down whenever you'd like. Stay with that or rotate your right hip open. Kick standing in a variation of tree pose. I'm just going to turn to you. You can stay where you are. Or you can take the sole of the foot to the inside of the calf, or come on up to the thigh. You can keep your hands at prayer, hands at waist, or if you'd like, lift your arms up overhead. And if you'd like, bend the elbows, find those cactus arms, shoulders move away from the ears, shoulder blades press towards each other on the back body. Spread through the fingers, make it active. Coming in and out as much as you'd like, as much as the body tells you to. And exhale, slowly release back down. Feel the experience of both feet touching down. Anchoring down through your feet, steady your breath, steady your gaze. Start to shift your weight into your right foot and lighten up on the left foot. Allow that left foot to touch down whenever you'd like. Or rotate your left hip open, kick standing for a variation of tree pose, or come on up to the calf, or come up to the thigh, wherever you'd like to be. Hands can stay at prayer, hands can stay at waist. You can hold onto a chair or a wall, or lift the arms up overhead, soften the shoulders. And then a really active opening for the front of your body if you'd like. Bend the elbows, find the shoulder blades moving towards each other. Cactus arms, spread the fingers, opening up the heart. And with permission to come in and out of the pose, just stay present with what's happening. React with compassion. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, releasing that left foot back down. Take a moment. Take your feet a little bit wider. Nice strong exhale. Drop your head, drop your shoulders, rolling through your spine, and just hang nice and heavy over the legs, letting your head release. Some nice easy sways from side to side. Good. And then finding your way down to the belly in the easiest way possible. So you can use a chair to support you. You can step your feet back, however you'd like to come on down. Come on down to your belly. And once you're there, just releasing the weight of your body down. So really exhaling. And just if there's water bottles or things around your circular uh, area around the mat, just gently tuck them to the side. Good. Now from here, press the tops of the feet down into the mat and reaching your arms forward. Take a nice inhale, lift your chest, reaching your arms forward and up. Lengthening your tailbone, breathe. Again, make sure there's nothing around you. We're going to sweep our arms back, opening up the chest, and then sweeping the arms forward. Again, sweeping the arms back, and sweeping the arms forward. One more time, sweeping the arms back, and coming forward. Slowly lower down, let your forehead rest. Soft, easy breaths here. Now keeping your head where it is, just play with the idea of lifting your legs up. They may lift, they may not. It may just be a thought or one at a time. That's okay. And just feeling that length as you reach through the toes. And then slowly think of opening the legs up a wee bit and then bringing them closer together. Opening the legs up and closer together. One more time, opening up and then closer together. Lower those legs down. Take a moment to rest. Now you can stay with the upper part of your body or the lower part of your body, or you can add them together here with me. So we'll reach our arms forward. On an inhale, lift the arms, lift the chest, maybe lift the legs. Stop where you'd like to stop, rest when you'd like to rest. Stay here or open the arms, reaching the arms open and back as you open up the legs. Now as you close the legs, reaching the arms forward, length. And then again, opening up and closing, feeling length. And one more time, opening up and closing, holding here for a brief moment. And lower back down. Let your forehead rest. Nice, full, easy breaths. Take your knees and bend your knees and take a few little windshield wipers from side to side. Rocking your knees, allowing your spine to slowly settle. Good. If you need a little bit more softness under your forehead, go ahead and find that here. We're going to stay on our bellies here for a moment. Bend your right knee, rotate your right hip open, and start to pull your right knee up towards your your right shoulder. So the knee is bent, knee and ankle are in line as we allow our hip to lower down here. To find a little bit more space there, you may want to take that arm into cactus position, so elbow bent, palm down. And turn your head towards that right side if it's comfortable on your neck, and just give yourself a moment to just release and surrender. Lots of roundness in the breath. Good. Slowly start to release that, and we'll come to the other side. So bending your left knee, allowing your left hip to rotate open. Knee and ankle are in line. And if you'd like, take that left hand in cactus position, so elbow bent, palms down. If you're comfortable, turn your head towards the left side. And just surrendering the weight of your body down. So really letting gravity be your friend here and allowing the hip to open up. Can sometimes feel like we're not doing enough or we should be doing more. But let's just recognize the brilliance of our body. Our bodies are smarter than we think they are. And just if we offer our body the shape and the space for breath, we can find a nice release here. And it may not be felt through the muscles right away, but the body is accepting this offering of rest, of space. Another breath. Good, and then let's slowly come on back up. Push up through to your hands and your knees, and either take some cats and cows here, or if you'd like, send your hips back towards your heels into a nice child's pose, letting your shoulders relax. Head releases heavy. Breathe into the back body. Good, and nice and slowly, let's come on back up, and we're going to come to a wide-legged seated position. So I'm going to sit up on a towel, on my blanket here. You can do so as well. And I'm going to turn to the long edge of my mat for some padding underneath the heels. You can as well if you'd like. Knees and toes facing up towards the ceiling. And begin with your fingertips behind you, really supporting lifting out of your waist, softening your jaw. And then slowly start to turn your body towards that right leg, lifting up. Feel free to place your hands on blocks if you'd like, or pillows. If you notice there's some space, just slowly start to bring yourself forward over the leg, not moving into your full range of motion, just moving really softly, really gently. Feeling that length not only in the backs of the legs, but perhaps in your low back, just inviting that gentle twist. Ease your way back up to center and take the other side. So turn your body towards the left leg. Inhale, lift up. Stay right there, or if there's some available space, slowly bring yourself forward. Take your time. We don't have to move very far. I'd rather it be really nice and gentle and subtle for the body. Lots of full deep breaths. Good. Slowly come on back up through center, and feel free to stay at center with your hands behind you, or slowly start to bring your hands forward. Again, you don't have to move into your full range of motion. Let this be really soft and gentle and easy on the body. Finding lots of space in the belly for breath, some freedom in the pose so you can sway, you can shift, you can move. Expanding the length of those exhales. Good, and nice and easy. Let's start to bring ourselves back up. Bend your knees, take your legs forward. Give them a little shake out, any movements there that you'd like to take. And then we're slowly going to find our way down to your back. So come on down in the easiest way possible. I'm just going to put on some socks. You can put on any woolies you'd like. Come on down. And once you're down, hug your knees into your chest. Giving your knees a good little squeeze and a few little rocks from side to side. Give your low back a nice little massage. Let the shoulders fall nice and heavy. Nice and gently taking the hands behind the legs, just start to lengthen the legs up towards the ceiling. Take a few little points and flex of the feet. Any movement there with your feet and your ankles you'd like to take. Bending the knees, bringing the knees back in towards the body. Open up your knees towards the side. Right hand on right knee, left hand on left knee. Keep your knees bent or start to extend the legs. Breathing deeply. Bend the knees. Bring the knees back in. Again, give yourself another little hug. If you want to pull the forehead up towards the knees and give yourself a good little squeeze, rolling into a ball, go right ahead. And then slowly release, taking your arms into a nice wide T position beside you. Allow your knees to knock over to the right and your hips gently shift towards the left. You can keep your knees separated or one knee on top of the other, or if you'd like, you can cross your top knee over your bottom knee. Lengthen the back of your neck. Let both shoulders fall really nice and heavy here. And really expand those exhales. Gently ease your way back through the center and shift to the other side. Hips shift to the right, knees drop to the left. Feel free to keep your knees separated or one on top of the other, or cross your top knee over your bottom knee. Support yourself with rolled up blankets or pillows, towels. Releasing the weight of your body down as you just think of taking a little bit more time to breathe. Come on back through the center and prepare for your final posture, Shavasana. So if there are any socks or sweaters you'd like to put on, go right ahead. I'm going to. Any sips of water or final movements you'd like to take, feel free to do so. And then find yourself in the most comfortable position for your body to rest in today. Perhaps a corpse pose, legs extended, arms extended, eyes closed. Or Supta Baddha Konasana can feel really nice on the hips, soles of the feet together, knees open to the side. Or Constructive Rest can feel really nice on the low back, soles of the feet to the outside of your yoga mat, knees fall in at center. You can feel free to come into a fetal position on your side, or rest on your belly in Crocodile Pose. Support yourself with pillows, blankets, or even rest in a bed or a couch or chair. Just give yourself some space to release, where we don't have to feel like we're holding ourselves up. Just surrendering the weight of your body down. If you're comfortable, allowing the eyes to softly close. Relaxing your toes and your feet, your legs and your hips, your belly and your chest, your shoulders and your arms, your hands and your fingers. Releasing some tension in your neck, your jaw, the space between your eyebrows, your forehead, and rest. And slowly begin to bring a greater awareness to your body and the space around you. Perhaps invite your breath to deepen. Any movement that comes to your body, allow it. Maybe wiggling fingers, toes, reaching, stretching the limbs or the spine. From there, in the easiest way possible, bring yourself up to a nice comfortable seated position. And we will end our practice together today, allowing your hands to rest where they feel best, maybe on your body or beside your body. Maybe one hand to heart, one hand to chest, maybe hands in prayer. And just give yourself a moment to connect in. Bow the head. And thank yourself for taking the time to practice today. And I thank you for sharing your practice with me. Stay well. Thank you so much for joining me. It was great to be with you as always. And I hope you have a wonderful Friday and a lovely weekend. Happy weekend to you as well. Thank you. I hope to see you next week or, next week, Wednesday or Friday. So take care of yourselves and enjoy the weekend. You too. Thank you.